Good morning, everyone. This is Deepak Agrawal, Associate Director, Career Advancement Services at ISB. I have been joined here by my colleague, Mr. M Kannan. Mr. Kannan, would you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm M Kannan. I'm the Director of Admissions and Financial Aid at the Indian School of Business.
The protocol is that we will run a 15 to 20 minute presentation this morning, and Mr. Kannan will be taking you through that. I will join him in the presentation somewhere in the middle, and then in the end we will talk about admissions. Mr. Kannan, are you ready to start?
Yes, I'm ready to start. Okay, good morning, everybody. The structure of the presentation is in three parts. I will initially take you through the vision of the school, the learning model, and then hand you over to Deepak to take you through the careers section. And finally, I will come back when it comes to the admissions process. The vision of the school is to be an internationally top-ranked business school, which is research-driven. And to achieve that goal, we have tied up with some of the best B schools across the globe: the Wharton School, Kellogg, London Business School, the MIT Sloan, and the Fletcher School, to structure our curriculum and also the course content and structure. So they've been doing a great job and helping us out with the structure. And to an extent, we have, in just 12 years' time, we have had faculty members who have been publishing regularly in top-tier journals, and we have also been one of the first schools in this part of the world to be ranked by the FT, Financial Times. And we're also one of the first schools in this part of the world to be AACSB accredited. So to a certain extent, what we have achieved in 12 years of our existence is to, by and large, live by our vision. The vision to be top-ranked internationally, be research-driven, and to groom future leaders for India and the world. That's the sum and substance of our vision, and every action that we take is really driven by this vision. Next slide. So, what is it for the one-year program? It's a one-year program, and therefore, to that extent, what we have in 12 years has created two great campuses. We had the Hyderabad campus to start with, and 2 years ago we started the Mohali campus, which is about 160 kilometers from north of Delhi, the capital of India. So we are up north and down south. And the other features, of course, is the fact that a one-year program gives you a much better opportunity, lower opportunity cost, because you get back to your careers much faster than, let's say, a 2-year program. We have also managed in these years to have a very, very diverse and experienced class. I mean, the average class experience is about 5 years, and a fair amount of diversity within the class. Diversity in terms of gender, diversity in terms of the different kind of experiences they come with, different kinds of industries they represent, and the work functions that they represent. Next. Okay, right. So one of the things that we have also achieved in these years is a very, very eclectic, distinctive faculty model. So what we have is about a mixture of resident faculty. We have about 50 of them on board right now. All of them are research and they're tenure-track faculty. And with them, we have visiting faculty coming from the best B schools across the globe. We kind of cherry-pick the best faculty across the globe to come and teach at ISB. So last year we had more than 100 visiting faculty who taught the courses at ISB, and they were of course complemented by the resident faculty, which is at the moment 50 in number. And as you can see that graph out there, the resident faculty numbers have been steadily increasing over the years, and as we go along we'll have a more greater and greater numbers of resident faculty. But nevertheless, We will continue to use our faculty model of resident plus visiting faculty. What it really does is gives you the best minds to teach at the ISB, and it also gives the opportunity for a person to have a mixture of uh, viewpoints. We have a resident faculty, which is by and large going to be talking about the emerging market scenarios, while the visiting faculty could well be talking about developed market scenarios. So you get to hear both points of view in that 1 year's time, and then make up your own mind. And you also have peer group, which is very, very diverse. So we have about 30% of our students who actually have had international exposure of up to about 2 to 3 years to 5 years time. So you get that exposure in the classroom, and you have had a very, very wide variety of experiences from the Indian context as well. So you get a mixture of both viewpoints as you go along in the program. Next slide, Deepak. So essentially, if you look at the learning model, so our learning in the class is predominantly case-based. We have specializations, the traditional specializations, which are marketing, finance, operations, strategy, leadership, and then IT management. But we have three new specializations we have started. One is in the area of manufacturing management. The other is healthcare management and entrepreneurship. So those are the 8 electives streams that are available, and people can choose to specialize in just one area, or they could also choose to specialize in more than one. So they can specialize in a maximum of 2. Apart from the classroom learning, there are a host of what we call applied learning, which are all project-based. So one is what is called the experiential learning program, where students in groups of 5, 4 or 5 actually addressed problems that are given to them by industry. So it's a kind of a consulting project where they work out of campus, but they have a time window of about nearly 12 weeks or 3 months to do that. So there's an extensive application of learning in solving these problems. A similar applied learning is the PAEV, Planning and Entrepreneurial Venture, which really drills down to our specialization in entrepreneurship, where people are encouraged to write out their business plan, a detailed business plan, which will be kind of peer reviewed, which will be reviewed by faculty members, which will be reviewed by external agencies, so that at the end of the program, they have a very, very well-structured business plan which can actually be taken to market. The third aspect of learning is what we call the learning and leadership development program, where people, the starting point is really a 360-degree survey of the student, where they get to know what their strengths, weakness, etc. are, and then there are inputs from faculty in developing their strengths and overcoming weaknesses, so that they become more confident, are able to really apply what they learn as they go along. And of course, there is this whole lot of peer learning through the professional clubs, social clubs, seminars, conferences, and contests that our students really go through over the period of that 1 year. So that 1 year, as some of our alumni really say, is a complete transformational year. So they come in with a certain set of capabilities, go out with a completely enhanced and different set of capabilities to take on the world. Next one, I think Deepak, I think now it's your turn now. The next part is the careers aspect of it. Over to you, Deepak.
Sure. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. As you would have known through my introduction, that I am Associate Director with Career Advancement Services. This department at ISB really works as a bridge between the ISB student community and the industry at large. Uh, Industry, when I say it could be global companies, which could be Europe-based or Latin America-based or Middle East-based or Southeast Asian-based or India-based, and the diverse student community at ISB, as Mr. Kannan mentioned, could be from different industry backgrounds, different role backgrounds, or different qualification, gender, etc. Uh, Here in India, we have been experiencing a huge demand for global talent. The way companies have been globalizing for the last 15 years or so, and India and China being hotbed for that globalization, uh, the companies who are transacting businesses across borders, for them, ISB is has been becoming a top place of choice. Uh, there is war for talent, which has already experienced international working environments, which has top-notch education, and which has been taught by top-notch faculties across the world. We have been continually seeing that war uh, hotting up. Uh, Hirings have been becoming more strategic. To give you examples, there are companies hiring students not just at ISB, at several places where they will go through a rotational program in a European company at their Basel or Zurich location, and then they would be placed in a leadership position for their India operations or Southeast Asia operations for their future growth. Uh, they are playing a long-term game. They are looking at these markets for both reasons. That is, it could be sourcing or it could be consumption. But the flavor of strategic hiring for future growth or cost cutting has been the flavor. Uh, there are several things which put a special demand on the needs of these companies side. Some of them I touched upon, that they need to have a cultural exposure, they need to have a diversity exposure, they need to have prior international work experience, they need to have those communication skills, and they must have been taught the right stuff in the global context, as well as the nuances which could be very specific to certain geographies of interest for those companies. Uh, so uh, I think ISB has been able to fulfill many of those levers for some of the companies who are building relationships with ISB and want to take it further. I'll move on to next slide now. Just to give you a flavor, in the year 2013, April is the month when we conclude our one-year program for a class. There were 760 students. There were 421 companies who were involved in the placement process at ISB, and they made 805 offers. These offers had students placed in 8 countries, 28 different companies, which could be somebody like Siemens or IBM, uh, and Cargill and Olam, HSBC, and those offers for international uh, geographies was about 63 in number. Uh, the best part is that the war for talent is interesting enough that it allows people to either make a functional shift or make an industry shift. It's a liberating factor that if you want to try out new things, such an education helps you align with companies' needs far better, and therefore people are able to uh, move on in their lives to different kind of industries and different kind of roles. Um, there are several kind of recruiters at ISB who are extremely interested in the talent pool which comes out of ISB. We have listed just few of the representative names here. To talk about consulting, we have the best of the consulting names available here. In marketing, there are few international companies, but the top-notch consumer durables or fast-moving consumer goods companies in India, which are playing a far bigger role in their parent companies now, which gives probably a better career path. If you know, the Hindustan Unilever is probably the largest revenue contributor to Unilever now in terms of growth and top line. And joining this company in the area of marketing is a sure short career builder from the global perspective. We in ITES, which is a big thing for the ISB campus, you have all the big names who are utilizing ISB talent as well as the location for great carriers, be it Amazon, be it Google, be it Facebook, be it Microsoft, and several others. In banking and financial services sector, you have several good names, and both the banks, investment banks, and the people who are providing advisory services to companies around finance. Infrastructure segment happens to be more of India-based. I think infrastructure sector in both India and in China is on fire, and it's attracting big capital. It's creating very large projects, and I think that's the place to learn about big infrastructure projects. Healthcare is another huge sunshine area. Healthcare, while there are things happening on healthcare in US and UK, let's not talk too much about them for all the political reasons. But in India, it's seeing transformation. In Asia, it's seeing transformation, and there are guys who are going to play a big role, and they are looking at a high quality talent pool from places like ISB to prime up that change. Here we move to admissions. I'll be happy to take questions on careers in specific during the Q&A session. Mr. Kannan, your time.
Right, thank you. Thanks, Deepak. Let me quickly take you through the admissions process. What we are looking for, the basic qualities. We're looking at academic credentials, of course, the leadership potential, and other personal attributes. So fundamentally, that's what we seek to get out of the candidate. And we assess all this through your applications, your essays, your recommendations, your transcripts, etc. And then at the end of it, we also do an interview of each of these candidates to kind of validate most of this. And at the end of all that, the result of all that is sent up to the admissions committee, which then takes a final decision on whom to admit and whom not to. So basically, that's what we are looking for. And as we would rightly say, we are really looking for top talent to get into, to admit into the program. Next. Right. After that, there is this. I just briefly touch upon two aspects. For how do you finance your education at ISB? For Indian National, of course, there are bank loans available, and these are all collateral-free, flexible payment option available with about 9 different banks with which ISB has tied up. So all you need is admit letter from ISB to qualify for a bank loan from any of these banks. So that's all there is, and it's hassle-free. And most of the processing is actually done on our campus itself on the day of the registration. So it's as simple as that. You get a letter, the banks have got their counters on campus, and they will process the loans immediately. The other is, of course, the scholarships or tuition waiver schemes that we have. One is a mean scholarship, so which candidates need to apply for, and it's based on their justifying their need for a scholarship in terms of their monetary condition, so they need to talk about their own incomes, their family incomes, and based on that, the admission committee will then decide whom to offer a scholarship and whom not to. The other is a merit scholarship, which is based on the intrinsic merit of the candidate based on our own evaluation. And the admissions committee on its own violation will offer scholarships and fee waivers to such candidates. After joining the program, there are a number of corporate scholarships, like the Citibank scholarship, the Novartis scholarship, the Society General scholarship, the Tata Motors scholarships, and so on. So there are quite a few of them. And most of these scholarships are, while the admissions and financial aid is only administering the program, the actual shortlist, the selection process is taken over by the corporates themselves. So we will only administer it while the corporates who offer the scholarship actually do the selection process. Next. Right. So for our applications, we have the first deadline for domestics to Indian nationals was 15th of February. That's already done. The next deadline is 30th of November. And the offer deadline dates are 15th of November for the first deadline, 15th of February, the second deadline. The application date for the early entry option is 15th of January. And for foreign nationals, it's a rolling non-Indian passport holders. The deadlines are rolling, and up till 15th of January 2014, a foreign national can apply to ISB. The decisions for the foreign nationals will be made known along with the cycle 2 deadline, which is February 15th. So if you apply anytime before 15th of January, you will get your result by 15th of February. Acceptances are 15 days from the date of the date from which we make the offer. So you get 15 days time to accept or reject our offer. The application portal, it's an online portal, very, very user friendly. You can enter the details in any order that you want, and you can revisit whatever you have written as many times as you want. http pgpapp.isb.edu. You have that URL out there, so that's where you go to start the application process. Next one. Right, it's now time for question and answer. So Deepak and I are available here, and you can send in your questions, and we'll be ready here for answering those questions.
Mr. Kannan, we have one question on admissions already.
Okay, but I can't see it.
It's there in your chat window.
Wait a minute. Oh, there you are. Be sure that they ask your questions. Okay. Can you please mute? Okay. Can you give 3 tips that can assist a student in standing out during the ISB application process? Okay. Our entire application process is based on the strength of the candidate. So we assess everything through the strength. So one of the things that you need to know is what are your strengths and how have you utilized those strengths? What are the challenges you've come across in your professional life, personal life, and how have you used those strengths to really make a difference both professionally and personally? So if you can talk in those terms, I think that'll go a long way in getting a good application in. Because one of the questions that we are really asking is, what are your significant achievements? So when you're talking about achievements, what normally happens is a lot of people talk about what are their the awards and recognitions they have got. But really speaking, the recognitions are actually, the awards are actually a recognition of an underlying achievement. Let us have a talk about those achievements. Every achievement if you take initiative, there will be naysayers. So how did you overcome those naysayers? We'd like to hear about that. That really gives us an insight into your personality. What kind of a person are you? How are you likely to contribute to the class, etc. And that will really help go a long way in making a favorable application. What's the focus on social entrepreneurship in ISB? Would you like to take that, Deepak?
Yeah. So we have a very active net impact club, and people have been learning, especially in a country like India, how to do a financially sustainable venture, which is uh, do good as well as do well. And through Net Impact Club or Global Social Venture Competition, GSVC, we have been bringing a lot of great ideas on what can be done, not just in India, but across the world in the social sector. And a lot of people through the course like planning an entrepreneurial venture, people are talking about how to build that kind of venture in which during the course itself you are provided with mentorship and more exposure on the social ventures. Uh, we also have in the recruiting companies a lot of people who are providing either consulting or advisory for the growth and financial sustainability in the social sector. So uh, I think these are the three ways in which people are getting exposure into the social sector, and they're also either jumping into the social ventures or they are getting to work into an advisory or consulting firm focused on social ventures.
Trying to get in touch with the Clean Tech Club. Deepak?
Okay. Yeah. So I will let them know that they need to get back to you. If I may know your name and your other credentials. However, I think there is huge action in this area, especially in solar energy and wind energy under this club. And this has really picked up after a few favorable government policies in several governments in Southeast Asia, because we are between Tropic of Cancer and Equator. Uh, I think it has a great future, and I will let the club know that they need to respond back to you. I think last 2 weeks had been a break in ISB between term 4 and term 5, and a lot of folks have gone on vacations. That could be one reason. Still, they will be reminded to respond back to you.
Unmuted.
Okay, as far as clean tech, I just add one more thing. We have quite a few of our alumni who are actually starting ventures in clean tech, and I do know one alumni who's into solar energy and solar farms and he's based out of Hyderabad. If you can give us your credentials, I think I'll try and see if I can have that alumni get get in touch with you.
So yeah, to add a few more things from the market perspective, there is a huge interest in clean tech area by companies like Vestas and Suzlons and others in the wind energy area. And then there are several companies from Spain and Germany and some Indian companies who are looking at the solar energy sector in a big way. Uh, the entrepreneurs are across the entire value chain, and I think there are several people from ISB who are in this sector at different areas of the value chain, uh, and I think club should be able to also connect with several of them. Some of them are in the semiconductor production, some of them are in uh, small size solar power plants, some are in uh, advisory to manage uh, government plans or the new rules and regulations in this area better. Some of them are in fundraising, and I think Tom Highland is in this area, Mr. Kannan. He has funded few of the projects in this area. Okay, Santosh, we got your contact, and I will have Clean Tech guys respond back to you. All right.
Right.
Mr. Kannan, do you want to build further upon the how the candidates are assessed during the admissions process as far
Yeah,
as
I
this
just do
question
that.
or this is
There's one
concerned?
more question here. I'm a social entrepreneur in India. Can I get in touch with ISB alumni who could help me? I can tell my credentials. Okay, yes, there are a few of our alumni who are into social entrepreneurship. We can definitely try and get you in touch with them. If you can give us your credentials, we can certainly do that.
Also, I would recommend that you find out
The
more
other thing is,
information
such
about.
questions you can write directly to us at pgp@isb.edu. Let me just the the email ID is pgp@isb.edu, and we'll get back to you. Right. Couple of other things that Deepak was saying. So we do have uh, you know counseling sessions that prospective applicants can have with our application counselor. So they can guide you through the entire process of application. Yes, they will not tell you what you should be writing and what you should not be, but they can definitely give you a broad idea as to what we look for, how we look for, how do we evaluate, and so on and so forth. So that's something that people who, again, you write into. So you can write into pgp@isb.edu and set up a chat call with one of them. Okay, let the questions.
So, guys, Mr. Kannan was talking about when you describe your achievements and you describe your awards, we are looking at more fundamental quality in terms of what is the underlying strength. And let me share with you an example that there was a candidate from some part of the world, and he claimed that he has great international exposure by having traveled to some 29 countries and having spent more than 5 days in each one of them, and he understands several cultures and people and language, etc., etc. Uh, he was pretty much kicked about it, and he thought that he's going to add a lot of value to the class in terms of his diversity exposure. Uh, One of the panelists asked him a question, and which was, having traveled to so many countries and having met with so many kind of people and languages and all that, what is it that you learned about yourself? Now, that's where the fundamental strength or the insight or the learning lies. So we are pretty much looking for that deep understanding of your achievement or the insights you have from your even personal leadership experience or personal initiative, or the nuance you might have understood from the industry or the role you have worked in. I think that is the quality which brings forward a candidate much more than giving a huge laundry list of several activities done. You may have done several things, but if you are not carrying any insight or nuance or self-awareness about those activities, we think that you are still trying to understand yourself. Whereas somebody might have done 5 things, but he or she might have great insights about each of those things. I think that deep experience is something which is valued more. Mr. Kannan, would you want to add something?
Yep. See, that's what we are really talking about. So, for instance, I was talking about anytime you try something new, there will always be people who will say this will not work. There will be naysayers. So, how do you overcome that? Your ability to convince others to your way, bring others to your point of view over a period of time. How do you do that? There are different ways of doing that. So, how do you do that? And from that, you can talk about your own capability, your ability to understand difficulties, your ability to structure your thoughts so that others can also understand them. But these are the kind of strengths that we are looking for. And the other thing, how do you solve problems? What is your way of solving problems? Talk about that. That could be a major strength. Your ability to get along with people, that could be a strength. So each one of them has, for instance, there was this person who claimed a lot of, I mean, he did claim that he got a phenomenal order and things like that for his organization. But when we started asking him, all his answers said, we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. Every answer. We said, what was your contribution? So that is the key question that we were after. So we are looking for those kind of nuanced responses so that we can really know what your strengths are. How do you really utilize those strengths, and how do you kind of take your own career forward utilizing these strengths? Okay, you seem to have dried up. Question seems to have dried up, so
If possibly anybody has any question, we can take 2 more questions, and would like to thank you guys for joining.
okay. I think it's Deepak.
Yeah. So thanks everyone, and it was great asking your questions, answering your questions, and we hope that you can continue the dialogue by asking your questions to pgp@isp.edu, and
Hey, Deepak, you need to speak up.
okay, is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Thanks everyone for joining into this webinar, and we hope that you will continue the dialogue by asking us your questions if there are any, by writing to pgp@isp.edu, And
what is that? There was a. It says one more question just came in. Where is that?
okay, great. Let's take it up.
Yeah, but I can't see it. Okay, is there a difference in selectivity for cycle 1 and cycle 2? As far as the candidate is concerned, from the point of view of selectivity, there is no difference. So you apply in cycle 1 or cycle 2, it makes no difference to the candidate. But yes, there are other issues that could influence whether you apply in cycle 1 or cycle 2, because cycle 1 decisions are known in November. You have about 6 months to transition to ISB. Decisions of cycle 2 are known in February 15th. So you just have a time window of 2 months. And if you happen to be waitlisted and you get a offer after that, it could be the first week of March before you get an offer. So really, your convenience really it matters more. The selectivity as far as ISB is concerned is exactly the same for cycle 1 and cycle 2. It makes no difference.
So I had talked about 2 questions. We had one.
Okay. Last question. No more questions. Okay.
Great, thanks guys. As I said, you can continue the dialogue with ISB at pgp@isb.edu, and we wish you great career in whatever stream you take up or whatever you do in life. Wish you very best, and thanks very much for joining this webinar.
Yes, thanks for joining in, all of you, and all the very best to you in whatever you choose to do in future. And thank you for being part of this session. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day ahead.